Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the main event.
Let's get ready to rumble! This one by Mattingly. Oh, hang on to the roof. Montana looking, wrong in the end zone. 5 seconds left in the game. Do you believe in miracles? Yes! Little roller up along first. Behind the man. It gets through Buckner. Here comes Knight and the Mets win it.
Yes! Welcome back. This is Sports and Sorts, episode 168. That's right. We've had 168 of these. Or now we've had 168 of these. It is a Saturday morning. We normally go live on YouTube every Monday and Saturday morning at 10-ish. We skipped last Monday. We had some issues. We couldn't go live. Sometimes that's going to happen. But if you like our videos, be sure to give them a thumbs up and a quick click on that subscribe button. You can also find Sports and Sorts anywhere podcasts are played, sportsandsorts.libsyn.com. I am one of the hosts. My name is Shane Moore.
And I'm the Bri Man.
And you can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/Shane and the Bri Man, on Twitter at Shane and Bri Man, where we post all our videos and other newsworthy topics. And lastly, if you comment during the show, we will put it up on the screen. And today, what we have on tap is Antonio Brown is throwing shade better than Big Ben throws footballs. Bryce Harper will be getting paid by Philly, but not quite as long as Bobby Bonilla still is getting paid by the Mets.
Nope.
And Yankees make two moves. Andy Pettitte named as special advisor to Cashman, but unfortunately that was done a little bit too late because Cashman already had time to extend Aaron Hicks for 7 years. And lastly, on the board is the Say Cheese Challenge. We got a great show. Let's go.
You are listening to Sports and Sorts with Shane and the Bri Man.
All right. So first up, the thing I wanted to talk about first, NFL, real quick. We're not going to be going into this deep. I don't think there's a lot to get into, but Antonio Brown throwing bombs of shade on top of Big Ben. And the only thing I have for this is this. How is anybody supposed to take this dude seriously with that kind of facial hair? I mean, he's not wrong in what he's saying. He's not necessarily saying it the right way, but by doing it the way he's doing it, he's going to get what he wants, which is to be out of Pittsburgh. But seriously, man.
Yeah.
People might take you more seriously if you clean up your act with your facial hair situation and maybe the way that you're talking. Because I don't know how many teams, I mean, of course, he's an all-time talent. But I don't know how many teams are definitely going to, I think that's the guy that's doing all this and causing all this noise that we want to bring into our locker room.
Yeah, he'll fit well in Oakland/Vegas. I actually think that's where he's going to end up. I think he's going to end up with the Raiders. It just seems like a Gruden. Seems like a Gruden kind of move too. But let me read you what he said. So this was via a show which I've never heard of. It's called HBO's The Shop.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's LeBron's thing. Yeah.
Oh okay. I didn't know what that was. But anyways,
I have a clip. You want me to play it?
Oh yeah, go ahead. If you have the audio, go ahead.
I have some audio right here. Not all of it, but I have some. It's filled with expletives, so be careful.
Buddy, to go home with the confusion, too much confusion. I'm like, damn, this is where they really at. Because now they're showing me the reality. You know, oh yeah, the good dude called me out. We lose a game. He like, damn, AD should have ran the better route. Why would Ben do that? The type of guy he is. He feel like he the owner, bro. You threw this shit to the D line, man. How the fuck I'm gonna run that route? You need to give me a better ball. But it's like in the league, you gonna have a guy from the team to be like, well, you can't say that. I need you to get this out there, like. But it's like, why I gotta be at there? At least ask a nigga how he feel first. Let it roll. Right there, if it don't matter how I feel, then fuck it then, right there, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's totally different from...
So, that...
Okay.
Lots of expletives. I will clean it up in the podcast side of things. Yeah, there you go. Go ahead. What do you have to say?
I just, the guy is an immense talent. He is an elite talent. He is arguably the best at what he does. But he's hurting his. But he is. Oh yes. As an all-timer, I mean, he's somewhere in the conversation, but it's not in a, it's not in a Jerry Rice kind of.
He's a Hall of Famer.
Boss kind of. Yeah, he's a Hall of Famer. Yeah. He's hurting his value though here. All the time in sports we hear about guys protecting and or promoting their brand. And I don't really understand what Antonio Brown is doing. He's a really strange guy. First of all, he does something like this where he goes on this show and he says the kind of things that he says. And I don't have an issue with him necessarily criticizing Big Ben. Mm-hmm. But it's just more about the way he goes about his business. Right. The other thing, too, is, I don't know, there was a video that he recorded that was really bizarre, like a couple weeks ago, where he was working out like on his treadmill. And he's like, he's working out and he's sweating and he's talking about, telling teams to call him. And it's like, first of all, they can't call you. That would be, you still are under contract. Right. You need to be traded. So nobody can call you. That's tampering. But he's like sitting there on his treadmill. He's working out. And then next thing you know, he's taking his shirt off. And he's like, he said his nickname isn't AB anymore. It's something like the Big Chest or something like that. I don't know what it was. Something chest. Some kind of weird nickname. He is just an off the rocker guy. And I'll tell you what, he is 30, which essentially makes him on the wrong side of 30. Yeah. And I mean, if you're a team, what are you willing to give up for this guy? I mean, again, let's just take one thing into consideration: his age. He is a 30-year-old player at this point. In the NFL, once you hit 30, it doesn't really matter what position you play. I mean, if you're a running back, forget it. That's the death knell. But as a receiver, yeah, I would actually say the one position that it doesn't necessarily, signal as a death knell is quarterback, because obviously you can be 41 years old and still win a Super Bowl. And there are a lot of other quarterbacks who are into their 30s who are still extremely good. Phillip Rivers, Drew Brees are still great NFL quarterbacks. But at every other position, 30 is a number that signals a red flag. And Antonio Brown, with the age combined with the way he conducts himself, the whole package is a red flag. Not to mention the fact that if you trade him, I don't even know what's left on his contract, but he's going to want to renegotiate. He's going to want more money, and he's going to want more years. Yep. And what are you willing to give this guy to come in and possibly be a distraction? Not to mention the fact that you can say whatever you want about Ben Roethlisberger, okay? But the guy is absolutely a great quarterback. He's still a really good quarterback in this league. He can still make big-time throws. The guy, I don't know if he's a Hall of Famer. He's very much in that conversation. He is a 2-time Super Bowl champion, so you can't take that away from him. And he did it under 2 different coaches, too. He's
not the talent that Antonio Brown is, but he's a Hall of Famer.
No, yeah. but I would say he probably is a Hall of Fame quarterback, and he is a great quarterback. He's a 2-time Super Bowl winner. I just wonder, can you expect this level of production from Antonio Brown elsewhere? I'll tell you what. Here's how I would put it. And I know we don't want to relate fantasy statistics with what a guy actually does on the football field. But I will tell you this. From a fantasy perspective, to me, he wouldn't be a first-round pick anymore if he goes elsewhere, which he is going to do. Mm-hmm. And I honestly, unless that other location was a place, all right, so maybe say like New Orleans or maybe Los Angeles to play with Phillip Rivers, yep, or even like a Drew Brees. Anything less than that, I don't know. And again, he's 30 years old. From a fantasy perspective, he would not be a first-round pick to me anymore. It would have to really be the right location. If he stayed in Pittsburgh and somehow worked things out with Big Ben, then I still believe he is that kind of a level talent fantasy-wise. But you could say, look, well, there's really no correlation between fantasy and like real-life football. But the truth is that if you're putting big numbers up in fantasy, you're putting big numbers up in reality.
Right.
So there is something to be said for it. My point is, I don't think he will be as effective a player at this age and with a different quarterback having to learn a new system. Yeah. I think he's a risk. I think there's a lot of red flags with him, and his personality really leaves a lot to be desired.
His personality is weird. That's what I mean. It's just him fitting in another clubhouse. It seems weird. It seems tough. I mean, I'm actually impressed with how long they've been able to do between Le'Veon Bell and Antonio Brown. It seems like the Pittsburgh Steelers were kind of breeding that culture, and of just like having very over the top egos, and just the way that they talk about their teams and call out their teammates and all that stuff. It is what it is. I mean, that goes from the top down, and that's Tomlin all the way down.
You know what's interesting too is that Antonio Brown and Le'Veon Bell are two all-time talents. I mean, they really are. But you know what? When they arrived on the scene, the Pittsburgh Steelers stopped winning Super Bowls, and it wasn't because of Big Ben. If you look at his numbers,
I mean, it's probably more because of their defense. But yeah, I mean, you can't really. But they did have the offensive team to be able to get there. That's for sure.
But here's the thing, though. Yes, it is because of their defense, but offensively, they are as talented a group as that team has ever had. Mm-hmm. It's not even like close.
Yeah.
I mean, Big Ben, when he won Super Bowls, did not have. I mean, he had guys like Hines Ward. Hines Ward was older, okay, and Jerome Bettis at one point was his running back, but like he has never had talent offensively like he has now, and he has not won a Super Bowl with Antonio Brown, Juju Smith-Schuster, Le'Veon Bell, James Conner. He's had two really good running backs, two really good wide receivers. Never had anybody like that in his Super Bowl years. Now, again, I agree with you. There's a defense. There is absolutely defense.
He had a better balanced team then. I mean, he had Hines
without
Ward,
a doubt,
and he had Betts. So I mean, like you had those two guys. That's a good offensive team, and then you couple that with a much better defensive team.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's certainly more.
It's a better balance, and I just think that Tomlin just isn't. He's just not the guy to lead that organization. But yeah, we'll see.
All I know is Le'Veon Bell and Antonio Brown, with their personalities, have hurt this Pittsburgh locker room and have hurt this Pittsburgh this
that I can agree with 100%.
Reputation. And honestly, I don't know how Mike Tomlin is still employed.
Yeah.
Because
it's very tough. I mean,
he oversees this.
Yeah, he's been letting it go for years. I mean, it's to where it is. It snowballed to where it is because of him. All right, let's move on from the NFL to
not that
play ball.
That's
what happens when I'm doing too many things on the other side. Wow, man, the crowd's energetic about Bryce Harper.
Coming in hot.
Bryce Harper to the Phillies, and for 13 years, and
30 years,
$330 million. Still not going to be signed as long as Bobby Bonilla, but
48 years, $330 million.
Yeah. So
but remember, there's collusion in baseball, and the system is broken.
Yes.
Even though within a calendar week, Manny Machado and Bryce Harper got $630 million.
Exactly. And this is kind of the crazy thing to me.
But it's broken.
This is something that I think we should talk about in a future podcast is Machado and Harper, two guys who just got $630 million, very talented players, but I'm still not certain that both of them or either of them are going to be Hall of Famers. But that's something I think we should talk about on another podcast. I think we should talk about that because that is a lot of money to spend on talent that's potentially not going to be a Hall of Famer. But
I mean, if I had to guess on both of them, I would say they both will be. But
I don't know.
But it is early.
Machado's numbers are going to go down in San Diego, and Bryce Harper's numbers might go up. But this is what I'm talking about. This was not a bad fit for either one of these guys, like for the Phillies and Bryce Harper, for the next 7 years.
Certainly.
But the craziest thing to me is that I would be shocked if Bryce Harper is even regularly playing by year 7. And this is a 13-year contract. And I think that this will inflate.
He'll be playing a lot of first base.
Playing in it, yeah, but I don't think it matters because I think Philly's obviously going to inflate his home run totals. But I am not sure he will even be able to be a Hall of Famer because he won't be able to stay healthy enough to do it. And how many people do you know that have swings like his and had extreme long-term success?
I don't think anybody has a swing like his.
And had extreme long-term
success. Very violent. It generates a lot of torque.
Exactly. So that's not even taking into consideration him also being injury-prone. So it was probably the best overall fit for both sides because the Phillies had the money to spend, and Bryce Harper was looking for a place to go to inflate his numbers, and that works out well. But I am glad it was them and not the Yankees that signed him to this astronomical deal because
yeah, me too.
It is a long-term contract. And with all that being said, though, I do think he should get a ring or two in Philly over the next 5 years because this is his window. I don't think after 5 years, Philly is going to have the ability financially to be able to help that team out to continue to grow because they're going to have that young talent that's coming up that they're going to have to sign and they're going to have to part ways and then they're going to have to rebuild the farm system and his contract, although it's not a ton per year, I don't know what the details are as far as like if it's front loaded, back loaded, if it's just even. I don't know what the load is, but this is tough. This is a really tough situation for them to be in, but they are definitely going for it over the next 5 years.
Oh, yeah. Well, look, they promised to spend stupid money. I would say that they have fulfilled that promise. I mean, going and getting McCutchen for $50 million, getting Bryce Harper for $330, making the trade for JT Realmuto. They're obviously, and they are completely going for it. I will say this for the Phillies. I don't know if it's crazy to say that they're not the definitive favorites. I think they are the favorites in that division now. That is, by the way, an extremely competitive division. It really is. Mm-hmm. I mean, if you look at it from like more of a long-term scope, I still think the Braves are the best long-term bet in that division. But for an immediate and even intermediate window, I mean, the Phillies have got to be the best team in that division. What I would like to see the Phillies do, if they really want to go for it, you want to go for broke, just sign Keuchel at this point. First of all, you really could use a left-handed pitcher there. I know a left-handed pitcher in that ballpark is scary, but you know what? They do need a left-handed pitcher in that rotation. Keuchel fits the bill, and the way you constructed this Harper contract does give you wiggle room. Because it's not an AAV of 30 or 35 million, it's an AAV of about 26 million. So it does give the Phillies still some room to play around with here if they want to try and go and get a guy like Keuchel. Because I don't know this for sure. Damien's watching, maybe he knows. Mm-hmm. But I think the Phillies' payroll now is sitting somewhere in the 188 range. Like, they might be able to even go grab Keuchel and even maybe stay under the tax threshold, which would be amazing considering what they have done this offseason. Mm-hmm. But they really could. Look, they got
be tough in that park, though. It could be tough for him. He has not pitched well recently in the last couple of years.
I don't disagree, but the guy will give you innings. He will eat some innings up. He's had success. He's a Cy Young winner. I know he's not the same guy.
He could be. There's no saying that he couldn't correct his mechanics or whatever he was doing wrong.
But the one thing, although that park will kind of giveth and taketh away, but the one thing I think with him is maybe the switch to the National League helps him a bit. He gets a little bit easier of a turn, through a lineup. So maybe they offset. Maybe those things kind of offset a little bit. Yeah. But it would be interesting, though, to see the Phillies really go for it. They did improve the back end of their bullpen by signing David Robertson. So, look, to me, this is the Phillies' division to lose now. And I think any Philly fan, and I think even the team themselves would say this is not a disaster, but it would be really bad if they don't win this division. Even though I think the Braves and the Mets and the Nats are all going to be very competitive, it's hard to say that the Phillies aren't the favorite right now.
Right. So right now, I mean, Damien actually posted, he makes me wonder if the NL is planning on finally giving in and adding the DH to the next CBA. And I would be shocked if they don't add the DH. I'd be shocked. I would absolutely be shocked if they didn't. I have a feeling that they will, and I just think that I would be absolutely shocked if they did not add the DH.
You know what's funny? 5 years ago, I hated the DH, and I actually always thought that the AL should go. And then all it took for me was, to see some pitchers start to get hurt, and then it happens to your own guy, Masahiro Tanaka. And I actually have flipped on that one. I really have. I really think if one way or another, the league should be identical in that sense. I mean, if you do want to get rid of the DH and have the AL bat, okay, fine. But I mean, for the sake, look, you're trying to protect pitchers. I just think you should get rid of it. I have flipped on that one. I used to be one of those old school, the pitcher should bat kind of guys, and now I've kind of gone the other way with it, and I think they should just implement the DH in the National League and just get it over with.
You might as well. I mean, I think what they need to do is they need to improve offensive numbers, and one way to do that, add another bat.
I mean, it does make for interesting strategy in the World Series, but other than that, I don't know. The Bri Man is right. Kotzer did 187 for the 40-man roster. Another cost to play. Yeah, so but the Phillies are still well under that. They could sign Keuchel and stay under it, which would be an unbelievable offseason. It really would. It really would. And and again, they've got some young guys on that team too. The Phillies are in it for the long haul too. I mean, between them and the Braves, they really are.
It's a short-term long haul. It's like the next 3 to 5 years. I do believe
you're right.
That's kind of where they're at. Yeah.
I think that's where I kind of called it like an.
I don't think they're going to have like a Red Sox Yankees kind of 20-year term where they're constantly in the playoffs and fighting for championships. But
I still think the Braves are the longest term success.
They have just so much young talent. Yeah,
so much young talent. So much young talent. And they have the ability, I think, to make some moves too, through free agency to supplement, to kind of fill in where need be. But they have a great young core.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so I think that's pretty much it with him. But we do want to stick with baseball for a little while because Yankees name Andy Pettitte as special advisor, and it makes me giddy. And not because I think it's the perfect role for him, but I just love having the old guard, our old guard around, our players from the 90s and 2000 in and around the clubhouse, and I just feel like it helps on multiple levels.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a positive influence all around. Look, you can't fabricate or duplicate the kind of postseason and just the overall success that a guy like Andy Pettitte has and what he can breathe into that Yankee locker room.
And anytime that he's around and you can pick his brain, that's just great. That's great.
I love it. I love that the Yankees are have always been surrounded historically by, players of their past. It's sort of been one of the calling cards of when you become a Yankee, you get access to all these guys too. I mean, Reggie Jackson is still constantly around, Pettitte being there. I mean, for a long time, now Posada has gone and joined Jeter. So, Jeter and Posada are guys that you are never going to see.
Oh, they're best buds.
But right. And Pettitte actually was offered to join Jeter, and he turned it down because he said that this had been in the works for about 5 years, basically since he retired. Wow. That this was in the works. He was just kind of waiting for the right time because he wanted to, coach his kids. And he coaches a high school team in Houston with, I think, with Lance Berkman, actually. So I think Lance Berkman is the head coach, and I think Pettitte is like the assistant coach / pitching coach. That's an all-star. That team better be good.
Yeah, that's pretty tremendous. You got to listen to those guys.
Oh, my God.
If your kids aren't going to listen to those guys, then,
right? If you're not listening to Lance Berkman and Andy Pettitte, I don't know. But yeah, I think it's great. I think having Andy Pettitte back in the fold is tremendous. I mean, he's one of our own. He's a great influence. And hopefully he's in the ears of some of these pitchers too. Because Pettitte is one of those guys too as a pitcher you love because he reinvented himself because he had to. His cut fastball lost speed, and he had to really reinvent himself. And he did do that, and he was still a very, very effective pitcher right up until the end of his career.
And
so
you can't think that CC didn't take any. I mean, he obviously saw what Pettitte did, and he has been implementing it himself. He's not. Right. As later in his career, I think Pettitte was still a little bit more effective and being effective in a. Whoa! What just happened? The picture just got all. Where did you go, Brian?
I'm here.
Oh, something just got all jacked up. I don't know what happened.
I see you.
You see me? I don't know if other people see you.
No.
This is kind of strange. I don't know what's going on. We are having
technical difficulties.
Of course, yeah.
Saturday. Oh, now I see on the YouTube.
Me and you?
Yeah.
It is me and you?
It's you and you.
It's me and you. Well, I don't know. I don't know where you went.
Wait, now it's all over the place. Oh, wow, there's some weirdness going on here.
Yeah, this is the new software. I don't know what's going on. This is strange.
Oh my.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. Something
Anyway.
that tweaked. Is that, I don't know if we're going to be able to have you on the show.
Anywho.
All right, so I'm just going to click on me and see what happens here. And then
It's kind of cool seeing like you side by side with you. It's pretty hilarious.
Is it
Yeah.
now? And now what? Now it's got a totally
Now
different camera.
Yeah, I really like the two shades. I think this is actually pretty funny.
Oh my lord, this is ridiculous.
We've clearly singled out who the better looking one on the show is.
What is going on with this? This is ridiculous. Oh, this is great.
This was done. I feel like this was done on purpose, but get me off of it.
This is of course this is a new software that Ecamm has, who we use, and they just came out with this new software, and of course it glitches in the middle of the show. Let's see here.
Yeah, that seems about right.
Yeah, it's a Saturday. That's what happens, right?
Saturday.
That's better. That's a better picture, at least. And can I still get you? No, it's just it doesn't even see you at all.
Wow, amazing.
Like you're up in the corner somewhere, I think.
Cool. No, that sounds about right.
I don't even know. Oh, there you are. You're back. I found you.
Oh.
I don't know how it happened, but you're here.
Oh,
all right. Now let's see. Wait. Yeah.
Oh boy.
The glitch is back. All right. Sorry. So anyway, I don't know where he's at, but what
Andrew Eugene Pettitte.
Oh yeah, and I just think that CC got helped out by seeing him. I thought that Andy Pettitte was more he was more consistent later on in his career, whereas CC has been a little bit up and down, but he seemed to find that stride late. But all right, I think we can move on because that glitch took up about a minute and a half. All right, so Aaron Hicks, let's get into Aaron Hicks. I get the signing. I don't love the signing, and I'm sure I will continue to complain about it. But when it comes down to it, it was a very cheap signing, and we have our center fielder / left fielder for the next several years. He's fine. I just want more out of my center fielder in Yankee Stadium, but he's ours until he ends up getting pushed to left field, I guess. Not
assuming
thrilled.
Florial becomes the guy.
I'm not thrilled about this, but also I understand the cheap signing. Like
I'm with you. I wasn't thrilled about it because of the years, but I like the average annual value. I just wish it had been 5 and 50 instead of 7 and 70. You know, that would have been my preference. Would have been 550 instead of 770. But I get what they're doing here, though. I don't think it was that funny of an assessment.
No, Damien. I'm laughing at Damien's coat. He was like, now it's 2 Shanes. That's too much Shane. I can't handle all the pretty.
Yeah, that's a lot.
And then he said, "You're so vain. I bet you think this pot is about you, don't you? Don't you?" And
little Carly Simon.
And he says, "I know I spelled vain wrong, but I kind of like the idea of Shane on a roof spinning in the wind." So whatever.
Yeah.
All right. So
you know what? But again, with Aaron Hicks, I'm fine with the average, the AAV. I wish it was 5 and 50 as opposed to 7 and 70. But you know what? It's not really that bad.
Nah.
I mean, it really isn't a bad contract at all.
10 a year. I mean,
he's a good defensive player. He's a solid offensive player.
He'll give you like 140 games.
Yeah.
He gets hurt every year, but
he's going to hit between 20 and 25, maybe even more home runs.
He might get to 30 if he can stay healthy and he can stop striking out so much.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's not a bad signing. He's to me, he's holding that spot warm for Esteban Florial.
And then he's going to move over to left field and use
and then he'll go to left
arm over there
when Brett Gardner is dead.
Yeah, because he's just going to be laying. They're going to put his gravestone in left field. And it would be a glove on it. He'll still catch everything.
They're going to have to run around it. It's kind of like in the old Yankee Stadium when Monument Park was like you could actually run into the Monument Park stones out there. Yep. Yeah, that's going to be Brett Gardner. His tombstone's going to be
his tombstone will out there with a glove, and he'll still catch everything. Right, he'll still catch everything.
Some people are going to get hurt, but
but he'll catch it. Because that's what he does. All right. So let's move on. We can get out of baseball now because I want to get into something that you had brought up on our any list, little sharing list that we have.
Yeah.
The Say Cheese Challenge.
The Cheesed Challenge.
And this is
Where do you think you're going? I'm going to sort it out.
The sort side of things here.
It sure is.
As the Bri Man likes to put it.
Swords!
It's the Say Cheese Challenge. This is one of those things that I look at it and I'm like, man, this is why I got off of social media. But at the same time, I'm like, but it also makes me want to get back on social media.
Really?
It's kind of it's kind of stupid and funny at the same time.
I look at it and I think to myself, this is why I became a parent, so I can throw slabs of cheese at my children while they're sitting in a high chair.
I say that because like I'm what I'm going to say right now is like I don't think I will cheese my kids, but if they are annoying me and I have a slice of cheese in my hand, I'm not saying it won't happen. It's probably going to happen.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to record it because it's going to be spontaneous.
Yeah, you know what? I don't know though. Like we have like good cheese slices in the house though. You know, like I don't want to waste.
You don't do that Velveeta stuff.
Yeah, no, not like that government orange cheese stuff. I want like we've got like nice slices of deli cheese in the house. I don't want to waste that.
Yeah, big slab of provolone. Cover your whole daughter's face.
I'm not gonna like throw like provolone on Lex's face. I'm gonna eat the provolone cheese. Or the Swiss cheese. I love Swiss cheese is my jam. I love Swiss cheese. I'm not wasting that cheese on my kid. Well,
my favorite is blue cheese. I'd have to throw a bunch of crumbles.
Yeah. And also like we give Lex cheese sticks. Like he gets a cheese stick.
Yeah.
So what am I gonna do? Throw like a cheese stick at him?
A bunch of shredded cheese. Throw it at him.
Right. That's not gonna work out well.
Yeah. Getting their eyes.
But the videos are funny though, because like these people are throwing this cheese on the kids, and the kids are like stunned, like, and they don't know whether to cry or this doesn't hurt.
One of my favorite ones was like this kid was sitting in his high chair. He was like probably like a 1.5, and he's like sitting there. He's like all happy.
Yeah.
And then he gets smacked in the face with cheese, and he's like,
cheese. Yeah. Right.
Like, aw. Like what was that? What happened?
Yeah. My brother.
Why did I get hit in the head with cheese?
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's it. See what Damien said. Just use craft singles, and that's what these parents are using.
Yeah.
They're clearly, nothing lost there at all. That's exactly what these parents are.
It's got a good stick factor too.
Plus, yes, I was just gonna say, whatever's on the outside of those craft singles makes them stick very well to a child's face. So, I don't know what's going on there, but
that's great.
Yeah.
Oh, man. So Damien also commented about Aaron Hicks. He said, that's not even overpaying for a fourth outfielder. It's true. Just stinks that he's there. All right. So anyway.
We just don't love him. I have another little quick ad in the sorts section. I took, against my better judgment, I took 4 girls, my 2 daughters, and one of each of their friends to go see the Lego Movie 2 last night. And it was good. It was solid. I would give that a Cinnabros 8.0 out of 10. I thought it was good.
Not as good as first, okay.
It didn't make me laugh as much as the first one, though. And it didn't make me laugh in general as much as I was hoping I would. What's that?
Was it a lot of the same? Like same tone, same kind of jokes and everything, or
no?
Because it wasn't surprising, or what?
Yeah, I think it was more that. Yeah. I think it was more that. There were definitely some lines that were funny, and there were definitely some lines that were downright intended for the adults and not for the kids. Wow. Which is cool, and I always appreciate that. But they're just, I don't know. To me, it didn't seem like there were quite as many laughs with this movie as there were with the first one. And again, that might just be because, you understand, you've seen one, so you kind of understand the humor that's going to be involved, and maybe it's harder to make you laugh. Still, though, overall, a pretty good movie.
Will Ferrell in it?
Yes,
he was
not much, but yes.
So that's probably part of it. I mean, he was pretty darn good in the first one.
I mean, for the most part, it's primarily the same.
Yeah,
the same people.
Yeah, he was good. He was funny. He was a good character in that. And
he's in it, but it's more cameo-ish actually.
All right, that's too bad. All right, so. Real quick, I also have something on the way out. Lethal Weapon, the TV show that I talked about in previous, and the last time I talked about it, it was when they got rid of Clayne Crawford as Riggs because he was acting like a poop head on set.
Yeah, because apparently he is Martin Riggs.
Yeah, he's like crazy, and they added in Sean William Scott, aka the Goon, aka Stifler. And at first, when they started it, it was a little clunky, so I wanted to give it some time to breathe, but has really hit its stride, and they still jump the shark from time to time, which makes me laugh. Like, I kind of laugh. It's like, I laugh at it, but I'm like, it's fine. It's one of those that they jump the shark, and I'm kind of like, that's crazy, and you could have done that so it wasn't so crazy. Yeah. But it makes it the show that it is, and I think overall, it is actually a better show now than it was before.
Is there any chance that they actually get the woman who played Stifler's mom to like do a cameo on the show as his mother, as like
No
Martin
way.
Riggs' mom on the show?
No, because he's not Martin Riggs. Totally different character.
Oh, okay.
So he's not Martin Riggs.
Okay, well, he doesn't have to be. Still, though.
His mom has already made appearances. And she is no longer with us on the show. She died many, many years ago, but they had flashbacks of her, and she was on the show. All right,
but it wasn't Stifler's mom?
No, it was not Stifler's mom.
That's upsetting, actually.
Yeah, no.
I find that to be disappointing.
It is a really good cast, though. I mean, and they have great chemistry, and everything works out really well. I've really liked the show since they changed, which I was shocked. I was like really kind of concerned because I liked Riggs. But it's not quite as dark as it was with Riggs, and it's a little bit more fun. But it's still got a lot going on, and I really enjoyed it.
I will tell you that I absolutely am in love with the Orville. I mean, it really is. I mean, I love that show.
Behind,
I love the show. I really enjoyed this 2-parter that they just did. And it's just so well written. Seth MacFarlane is just so brilliant. He really is, and he is. There's so many like great homages in this show too that are very subtle.
Unlike that music that I just dropped,
right? Which was not. But really, I mean, if you have never watched The Orville, tune in, check it out. It's just really well done. It's Galaxy Quest meets Star Trek, and it's just really well done.
It is, and they touch on a lot of like stuff that's going on in society today.
It is, it's all very relative. So
which is why I like it. I mean, they touched on everything that's in the episodes that I've seen so far. They touch on so much. It is a really well done show. And I like to get like 3 or 4 or 5 episodes built up, and then I binge them. So that's what I like to do with a lot of these shows.
I mean, it deals with politics. It deals with sexuality. It's really, but it's not.
Medicine, it goes across the board.
Yeah, it really does. It's a smart show. Yeah, it really is. They've just done such a great job, and I love Seth.
Yeah, me too. All right, Damien also approves. We're going to be signing out now, and if you haven't yet, you can go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Go ahead and send it to people that you think that might want to talk about a little sports and sorts, and join us on Monday and Saturday mornings around 10 a.m. And then on top of that, you can find me on Twitter at Einhornusfinkel.
You can find me on Twitter at _Bri_Man.
You can find the show on Twitter at Shane and Bri Man, Facebook.com/Shane and the Bri Man. We post a lot of different stuff, newsworthy topics, and of course, all of our episodes and when we're going to be going live. And then on top of that, you can go to our website, which is www.sportsandsorts.libsyn.com, where we post our podcasts, and you can find all our social media and stuff on there as well. Other than that, we hope you have a great weekend. It's snowy here in Connecticut, and it's supposed to get more and more snow over the next couple of days, which is we haven't gotten much, so we're here. So thank you very much for watching, listening, however you took this in, and I apologize to those that saw it and got a little bit of the cursing from Antonio Brown at the beginning, but it's an HBO show, and I kind of let you know quick. Hey, a lot of expletives. Yeah, I'll try and get it out in the podcast side of it.
We're going to start swearing more on the show, so if Shane will let me. It's really hard for me to edit myself.
I know. You make a conscious effort.
I do.
Yeah. The beard filters.
It's not easy.
It's good.
Yeah.
It's good. Not as much as it was, because I mean it was so Santa-like before. And now
you
look good. You look good.
It's back to normal.
I like it. You look good.
This is the normal length.
I like the gray.
The gray is... Well, it's
distinguished. You're distinguished.
Yeah, that's it. That's the word.
All right, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys again on Monday. Hopefully with some good stuff to talk about. If not,
stay classy,
we'll make it up as we go.
Why not?
Peace
what we
out.
do.
Bye. All right, and we are